right. I'm excited to talk about this. Today, we're going to be talking about The Alloy of Law, Book 1 in the Wax and Wayne series, which is the second generation of the Mistborn world by Brandon Sanderson. This book is super short, so if you've read the first generation of Mistborn books, that's The Final Empire, Well of Ascension, Hero of Ages, I definitely recommend you read those first before you read these books. But this book, if you've read those and you haven't read this, you should read this. This is a good time, and it's super short. So it's not like it's, a huge commitment. It's like it's a 10-hour audiobook, so I think it's like half the length, or not even half the length of the first generation of Mistborn books. But this book in particular takes place, I think, 300 years after the events of the Hero of Ages, which is the last book in Generation 1. And we get to meet a couple of new characters. We get to meet Wax and Wayne are the two main characters, a few other side characters and stuff like that. The best way to describe this series to me is a buddy cop western with magic, which sounds kind of weird when you say it like that, but honestly is really interesting. And I think the coolest thing that I appreciate about this book is the use of the previous series to set up many of the world details. Like, we already have these world details and the magic system has already been set up, but to think of new and creative ways that magic system has evolved because of many generations passing, and like genetics and stuff like that passing down the line with these different magic systems. The main point of the story is basically just like it really is just like a mystery, not really mystery, but like a buddy cop film. That's basically what it is. Like, really, there's no better way to describe this book. Besides the magic stuff, that's a super big pro for me. I think that Wax and Wayne feel like genuinely deep characters in such a short book. To have these characters come off like almost instantaneously as like these really intricate characters, and the way they play off of each other is Sanderson had to be thinking about this for a while, because these characters like have really great chemistry within the book. And like a lot of times what I find is, well, not a lot of times, but sometimes what I find is when a writer has, two characters in their head who are like, these characters have this type of relationship. Sometimes like the humor and stuff like that, those like playing off of each other type bits, can come off very hollow and very empty. This book does not do this. I felt like every single moment and interaction between Wax and Wayne felt like they were basically, they were really good friends, but almost like brothers. And like their humor with each other not only fits their individual characters, but also plays off the other characters so well. And you can feel just be the way they talk and interact with each other, the depth of that relationship with each other. And like we get a couple, we get those characters, but we get other characters that work our way and give us, the reader, into their world and information about their past without them having to give it to us, which I think is super well done. I think that this book is very, and this isn't like a pro or a con, but it's very straightforward. There's not a whole lot of twists and turns. There is the which I almost want to say is like the classic Sanderson thing, which is like the villain isn't who you usually think it is. And I mean, in this one, I think that like that twist of like, haha, this is who I am, was. I mean, he did a good job of not withholding it because he would have had to do a lot more setup to make it impactful. Like when it's revealed who it is, like it affects Wax, which we get to see, but I as a reader did not. I was not affected by the reveal of who this, what this criminal organizations do, like who this criminal organization is. There is another twist later on that I believe the first time I read the series caught me a little off guard, and which it's good. It's not bad. It's just I was like, whoa, okay, which I do think is set up for, and well done. Critiques for this book. It's short. I mean, that's not really a critique. I think I could have used maybe a little bit more, and this does lead into the short problem, which, but I could have used a little bit more with the elements of the city. Like in the first Mistborn generation, we get this very deep political system that's working its way throughout not only the city but throughout the entirety of the Final Empire. In this book, I didn't feel that, and that's not necessarily the point, but like the political system is like this backdrop and it's like here, but we don't get to experience any of that. And I think I would have actually liked to experience a little bit of that just to kind of know the relationships going on, and maybe to have even like more of like a false lead of who's really behind what's going on, rather than it just being very straightforward, because this book is very much just like a straight train path. It's just like from point A to point B to point C, and there are like some cool things that happen, but there's not a lot of like there's not a lot of backdrop setup, I feel like. And that might be intentional, just to keep this book nice and brief and let people in to the world in a new series that takes place within the same world. Honestly, I can't think of too many critiques. I feel like Sanderson has this thing with like, at least with this world, and with a lot of his books, I would say, that I've read, not including the Stormlight Archives, because that's a whole different beast on its own, but like most of his like first books of series are super clean. Like you can tell he spent a lot of time thinking about this story before taking off, and sometimes I think that's great, but sometimes that also leads to the end of the series not having as much impact as the first book. Like the first book's amazing, and then the next couple books are okay. I'm like, for the life of me, I cannot remember. I think the general feelings I had about book 2 and book 3 were positive, but I haven't read these in a while, and I think I've only gone through them once, maybe twice. So I'm kind of excited to get another time to look at them and put my thoughts together about book 2 and book 3. But overall, book 1, super solid. Definitely worth a read. If you've read the first generation of Mistborn, I would definitely recommend you read this. I think it's really well done, and the characters are interesting, and it's short. So it's like, you can get it out in a couple days, and you'll be done with it. Yeah, I think that'll be it for this one. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments about if you like or don't like this series, why that is, what's the thought of like moving into another generation of this world, because a lot of times those can be very meh, like oh, the author is trying to relive this experience. But with this, I didn't feel like that. I felt like this was, while in the same world, was this completely new experience that I really got invested in. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, I know there's another one of these coming out at some point in the future. But I'm pretty sure he said too that there's going to be a Generation 3 Mistborn, if I'm not mistaken. But maybe correct me on that if I got my facts mixed up. But I'm pretty sure. So, all right, that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you guys next time.